Hello everyone. Today let's solve problems related to what we have studied so far in chemical kinetics part 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And I have taken CSIR problems to work out. I hope you have watched my previous videos chemical kinetics. If not, kindly find the link in the description. Okay. So now let's go to our first problem from CSIR June 11. Here they have asked us the half-life of a zero-order reaction A it gives P, that is product, is given by. So they are asking us the half-life of a zero-order reaction. And they have given 4 options. So we have to find out which is the right option. And we have already seen this in the part 2 chemical kinetics, the zero-order reaction half-life. This is the final equation that we have derived in a derivation that we have worked out. So this is the rate constant equation, right? So in this we have to substitute T by T half and concentration of the reactant A by A naught by 2 because we need half-life, right? Why A naught by 2? Because it is the half the amount of the initial concentration. So when we substitute these two in this equation, we get this, and you bring the concentration terms in one side so that it becomes KT half, that is equal to A naught minus A naught by 2. A naught minus A naught by 2 will be A naught by 2. So you get T half, right? T half is equal to A naught by 2K. Your right option is option A, that is T half is equal to A naught by 2K is the half-life of zero-order reaction. You got it? Coming to the next question from June 2012. The carbon-14 activity of an old wood sample is found to be 14.2 disintegrations per minute per gram. Calculate the age of old wood sample if for a fresh wood sample carbon-14 activity is 15.3 disintegrations per minute per gram, and they have also given the T half of carbon-14 to be 5730 years. So what they are asking us the age of old wood sample, and they have given the fresh wood sample carbon-14 activity as well as the old wood sample carbon-14 activity is also given. Okay. So you have to know that all radioactive decays are first order kinetics. That is, this carbon-14 activity is also a first order reaction. Okay. And they have given us the initial concentration of the reactant to be 15.3 dpm. That is, you see the fresh wood sample carbon-14 activity shows that it is the initial concentration, right? Because it is fresh wood, that is, it is in the initial stage. So your initial concentration is 15.3 disintegrations per minute per gram, and which can be written in short as dpm. And the concentration of the reactant at old time, okay, at any time, but it is an old time, and its concentration is found to be 14.2 dpm. Okay. And they have also given the T half carbon-14 to be 5730 years. And what they are asking us? T, that is the age of old wood sample. So if we find the T, then that will be the age of our old wood sample. So let's recall what are we studied in first order reactions so that which formula can be used to calculating T will be understood. Okay, so this is the rate law that we previously discussed, and this is the integrated rate constant equation. This is the equation of rate constant, that is K is equal to 2.303 divided by T log A naught by A. Second power minus 1 will be the unit. And this is the T half of first order reaction, that is 0.693 divided by K. And this is the graph of first order reaction. So you see, we will take this rate constant equation to calculating T. Okay, we can also opt this equation, but ln means it will be difficult for us to evaluate, right? So we are taking this equation. But in order to find t, we need k and a naught and a. Okay, we have a naught 15.3 and the concentration of the reactant at time t is also available as 14.2 dpm. So a is also there, but we don't have k. Instead, an extra information we have. What is that? T half. T half is equal to 5730 hours. So why they have given this? So using T half, we can calculate K. Okay, using the formula, half-life formula. See, T half is equal to 0.6931 divided by K. So when we solve this T half, we will find K, and using that K, we can find T in this equation. So for calculating a rate constant, K is equal to 0.6931 divided by T half, 5730 years. That is equal to 1.2 into 10 power minus 4. So this will be your rate constant. So for this formula, we have rate constant now, A naught and A. So now we can find T, right? T is equal to 2.303 divided by 1.2 into 10 power minus 4 log 15.3 divided by 14.2. So you don't need to evaluate accurately. Okay, no need to solve it accurately. You can just do it approximately because your answer will be approximately equal to the correct answer. Okay, so 2.303 divided by 1.2, you can take it as 2 by 1. So 2 by 1 will be 2 into 10 power 4. This 10 power minus 4, when it goes to numerator, it becomes 10 power 4. A log, and this also you don't need to divide it by 15.3 divided by 14.2. Just do it as 15 by 14. So you have 1.07. So your time will be 0.0588 into 10 power 4. So how many when 10 power 4, when we multiply it, you get 588 years. Okay. So let's see which option is nearly equal to 588 years. You see, for 5,000 years, 4,000 and 877 and 617. So 617 years is approximately equals to the answer we got, right? So your correct option should be option D. So this how you can do your mathematical in chemistry problems, so that it will be time saving also. Okay. So hope you understood this problem, and remember that all radioactive decay are first order reactions. So if comes to the first order reaction, then recall what are the formulas you have studied in our previous videos and think which formula will be useful for you to calculate your need. Okay. So this is a very simple problem. So here they have given old wood sample, then that will be obviously A, and fresh wood sample means it is A naught. And you have obtained a formula, but an extra information is also given, like T half carbon 14. Then what you have to do? Just think why it is being given, and from that what you can extract. Okay. So read the question 2 or 3 times before solving it. The next question is from CSIR December 2012. In the concept of half-life is generalized to quarter life of a first order chemical reaction, it will be equal to. So we have already seen half-life of first order reaction, right? And they are asking us what happens if you generalize it to quarter life. Okay. So we know that half-life of a first order reaction is 0.6931 divided by K. And how did we get this? This is the rate constant equation of first order reaction, right? K is equal to 2.303 divided by T log A naught by A. So in this, in order to find out the half-life, what we are gonna do? Substitute T by T half and concentration of the reactant A by half the amount of initial concentration. Okay, that will be our half-life, right? So when we substitute these two in this equation, we get K is equal to 2.303 divided by T half log A naught by A naught by 2. So when you evaluate this, you get K is equal to 2.303 divided by T half log 2. That is 0.6931 divided by T half. So your T half is equal to 0.6931 by K. So this is how you will derive half-life for first order reaction, right? Do you remember this? We have already solved this in our first order reaction video. Okay. So now we have seen how to calculate the half-life for first order reaction. But what is the question? Quarter life of first order reaction, right? So what we are gonna do is substitute T by T1 by 4 and your concentration of the reactant should be quarter the initial concentration, that is A naught by 4. So K is equal to, this is your rate constant equation, right? In this equation, we are substituting T and A by T1 by 4 and A naught by 4. So while you substitute, we get K is equal to 2.303 divided by T1 by 4 log A naught by A naught by 4. So when you solve this, you get K is equal to ln 4 divided by T1 by 4. So your T1 by 4 will be equal to ln 4 by K. So you see, your correct option is option B. Okay. This is not. The correct option is option B. Ln 4 by K. Is it clear? Okay, now we will go to the next problem. It is taken from CSIR June 2013. Here, the concentration of a species A undergoing the reaction A it gives product is 1, 0.5, 0.33, 0.25 mole Vm per minus T. That is, these are the concentrations, okay. At T is equal to 0, 1, 2 and 3 seconds respectively, the order of the reaction is. So they are asking us the order for A gives product, this reaction, and they have given the concentrations and at which time these concentration changes, that is also being given. You see, in this reaction, A it gives product. These are the concentrations, okay, of the reactants, and 0, 1, 2, 3 seconds are the time at which these concentrations are formed respectively. Okay, are you clear with the given thing? Fine. So you see, initially the concentration of the reactant was 1 molar concentration at 0th second, and it takes 1 second to reduce to its half amount, that is T half will be 1, right? That is 1 second. In 1 second, it has reduced to half the amount of the initial concentration. And you see, the next half-life will be here 0.25, because 0.5 molar concentration is being reduced to half its amount, 0.25 in 2 seconds. So, what happens to the half-life? It doubles, right? You see, on reducing the concentration to half of its initial value, the half-life becomes double. So it is second order reaction. You can also remember like this. Okay, when the half-life doubles, it will be of second order. Or else there is also another way you can find it out here. This is the 0th order T half, right? T half is equal to A naught by 2K. This is 0th order T half. And this is your first order T half. T half is 0.6931 divided by K. And this is the second order T half. Okay. You should remember all the formulas and it should be on your fingertips while solving problems, because while you solve problems, if you remember all the formulas means, then it might be useful in any way for you to do your problem in a much simpler way. Okay, that's why. Because you see here the concentration of the reactant, what happens? It decreases, right? From 1 to 0.5, 0.33, 0.25, so it decreases. And what happens to your T half? It increases, right? 1 and it doubles 2, and obviously next T half will also be increased. So your T half increases and your initial concentration decreases. So when we relate that thing to this to these half-life formulas, then you see in second order the T half is equal to 1 by K A naught. That is, T half is inversely proportional to the initial concentration. That is, when T half increases, your initial concentration decreases, right? The same thing is applicable in this problem. So this is also an alternative way you can find out that it is a second order reaction. Okay. So your answer is 2, second order reaction. Hope you understand this problem. Coming to the next question, June 2013, the radioisotope argon initially of 34,500 disintegrations per minute, but decay rate falls to 21,500 disintegration per minute after 75 minutes. The T half for argon is dash. So they are asking us to find out the half-life of argon, and its initial concentration is 34,500 disintegrations per minute, right? Because initially it decays at the rate of, so A naught will be 34,500 and your A will be 21,500. Okay, and the time is 75 minutes. So you have to find T half. These are the data is being given. First, you have already seen that all radioactive decays are first order reaction, right? So this argon decaying is also first order reaction. So as we discussed before, A naught is 34,500 dpm. This is a short form of disintegrations per minute, and A is 21,500 disintegrations per minute, and your time and how much the conversion time will be 75 minutes. So we have to calculate the T half. First order reaction means the T half is 0.6931 divided by K. You see, we have rate constant in the formula, so we need to calculate rate constant because they didn't give that. Okay, so how do we calculate it? We have another formula for rate constant. Okay, that is 2.303 divided by T log A naught by V. We have A naught and we also have A. T is also present. So it is easy for us to calculate K, and using that K we can calculate T half for argon. Okay. Now for calculating rate constant, when we substitute T, A naught and A in this formula, we get K is equal to 2.303 divided by 75 log 34,500 divided by 21,500. Okay. And you don't need to divide it or multiply it accurately. As I said before, do it approximately because your answer will be nearly equal to the approximated answer. Okay. So K is 0266 into 0.2041. So your answer will be 5.4 into 10 power minus 3 minutes per minus 1. So this is the answer for your rate constant. So you have calculated rate constant. From this you can employ this in the T half formula, right? So T half is equal to 0.6931 divided by 5.4 into 10 power minus 3. So your T half will be 128 minutes. And you see which is nearly equals to your answer, your correct answer. Okay. 128 minutes means option B. It is well and good nearly, right? So your T half for argon will be 110 minutes. So this is how you will solve this problem. This is very simple problem. Only the calculations will be hard for you. Practice that, it will be very easy. Do it approximately and then you come and relate it to your original answer, okay, which is nearly equal to your approximated answer will be your correct answer. Coming to the next CSIR June 2015 question. For a reaction 2A plus B, it gives 3Z. If the rate of consumption of A is 2 into 10 power minus 4 mole dm power minus 3 second power minus 1, the rate of formation of Z will be. So they are asking the rate of, they have given the rate of consumption and they are asking the rate of formation. Okay, rate of consumption is nothing but the rate of disappearance. Okay, so we have already seen this. Take this reaction 2A plus B, it gives 3Z. So how do we write rate for this? Rate is equal to minus 1 by 2 dA by dt. You know that all the stoichiometric coefficients should be written in the denominator, and for the reactants you will use negative sign because they are disappearing to form product, right? So for product you will use positive sign. So rate is equal to minus 1 by 2 dA by dt, that is equal to minus dB by dt, that is equal to plus 1 by 3 dZ by dt. Okay, now what they have given, the rate of consumption of A, that is minus dA by dt is alone given as 2 into 10 power minus 4. Okay, minus dA by dt is alone given. Now what they are asking us, the rate of the rate of formation of Z, that is dZ by dt is asked. For that, what we have to do, just find out minus 1 by 2 dA by dt, so that term you can equal to plus 1 by 3 dZ by dt, and then you can 3 over that side, multiply by 3 to get dZ by dt. I hope you will understand what I am telling. Now we will work it out. Okay. Minus 1 by 2 dA by dt, that is equal to plus 1 by 3 dZ by dt. Okay, that is the rate, right? Now we know that minus dA by dt is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 4 molar concentration. Now what we are gonna do, we are gonna find this whole term. So 1 by 2 into 10 power minus 4, that is equal to 1 by 3 dZ by dt. Okay, hope you understood up to this. Then what you have to do, bring 3 over that side. So 3 by 2 into 2 will get cancelled. So only 3 will be remaining, right? So 3 into 10 power minus 4 will, molar concentration will be the rate of formation of dZ by dt. So your answer is option A. Clear? Coming to the next problem from CSIR December 2015. The concentration of the reactant R varies with time for two different reactions as shown in the following plots. So they are asking us, they have given two plots and whose concentration of the reactant is on the y-axis, okay, and time on the x-axis. So we have to find out what orders they represent. So we have already seen 0, first and second order graph. So now let us go one by one. I will brief it. For zero order reaction, this is the rate constant formula, and rearrange this like A is equal to A naught minus KT. So let's see whether Y is equal to MX, this plot of this equation. No, right? Because we have an extra term. Whether this one y is equal to mx plus c, here the slope is positive, but in this equation we have a negative slope. So it should be like y is equal to c minus mx. Okay. So this is the plot of y is equal to c minus mx, general plot. When we substitute all our components on this graph, we get a naught as the intercept and a on the y-axis and t on the x-axis, and we have a negative slope k. Okay. So coming to the first order reaction graph, this is the integrated rate law equation, right? So rearrange this so that it becomes ln A is equal to ln A naught minus KT. So here too we have the same graph, y is equal to c minus mx. This is the plot we have already seen in the before slide. Here y turns out to be ln A and your intercept will be ln A naught, and the slope, it takes up the rate constant, and on your x-axis you have time. Okay, so this is the general plot of y is equal to c minus mx. So your first order plot will be like this. Okay, so coming to the second order reaction, this is the rate constant equation that we have obtained by a derivation. So just rearrange this, so it will be like 1 by a is equal to kt plus 1 by a naught. So this is y is equal to mx plus c, right? Y takes out 1 by a and your rate constant will be the slope, and on your x-axis you have time, and 1 by a naught is as a intercept. So this is the general plot of y is equal to mx plus c. So this is your plot of second order reaction, graph of second order reaction. Okay, so now your answer will be 0 and 2. You see, for second order reaction we get 1 by a naught, right? 1 by a, and the zero order reaction, it is only the reactant concentration will be on your x-axis, so a. Okay, now let's solve this problem from CSIR June 2016. Here, if the rates of a reaction are R1 and R2 at concentration C1 and C2 of a reactant respectively, the order of the reaction N, assuming that the concentration of all other reactants and T, that is time, remain constant with respect to that of the reactant, is given by, that is N with respect to the reactant is given by. Okay, so on seeing this question, that is R1 and R2 and the concentration C1 and C2, do you remember where we have studied this previously? In my last upload, that is I think it's part 5 chemical kinetics. In that we have studied this at methods for determining the order of the reaction. Okay, in the differential method we have studied this formula. So let's see that in a brief way. Here in the method for determining order of the reaction, that is the differential method, a rate is directly proportional to the concentration of the reactant power n, right? We have already seen this. This is the rate law. Power n, what does n represent? It is the order of the reaction. So concentration of the reactant can be written as C. So when two rates are given, as we seen before in the question, like that, if two rates and two concentration respectively are given, then it can be written as R1 by R2, that is equal to C1 power n divided by C2 power n. So this n term take as a whole power n. So it becomes R1 by R2, that is equal to C1 by C2, the whole power n. Now you can take log on both sides so that n, it will come in the multiplication term, right? So log R1 by R2, that is equal to n into log C1 by C2. Now you see, from the before equation, you have n this side and log C1 by C2 over other side. So what happens? N is equal to log R1 minus R2 that is equal to, sorry, n is equal to log R1 minus log R2 divided by log C1 minus C2. Okay, that is your option A is your correct answer. So this how it will be useful. So you first go and learn all the parts that we have discussed earlier in chemical kinetics, because all those parts are the answers for all the questions that you are gonna solve in competitive exams. Okay. So from this only this has been obtained. So coming to the next question from CSIR June 2016. Here, the half-life for a third order reaction, 3C, it gives product, where C0 is the initial concentration of C will be. So they are asking us the half-life of third order reaction. This is very easy, right? Because we know a easy trick for nth order of the reaction. That is, for rate constant, this is the general formula in which you can put any of the order you want. Okay, for fourth order you have to calculate the rate constant, then just put n by 4 so that you would get the rate constant formula for fourth order. The same thing represent for the half-life too, and even the unit of rate constant can also be calculated for all the nth order of the reaction. So we have the half-life formula, right? This one. So when you put third order, if they are asking third order means, then just substitute n by 3. So what do you get? 2 power 3 minus 1. That becomes 2 power 2, 4. 4 minus 1 will be 3. 3 divided by 3 minus 1 will be 2. So 2 into A naught power 2. Okay. So your answer will be 3 by 2 K C naught power 2. A naught is nothing but the concentration of the reactant, that is the initial concentration C naught. Okay, we can use it as C naught. So your right option is option A, 3 divided by 2 K C naught power 2. Okay, so this is the formula. So when you do this, you get 1 by K 3 by 2 A naught power 2. Okay guys, it is easy to solve this. Okay, coming to the next question. This is from CSIR June 2019. If the half-life of the reaction is inversely proportional to the square of the concentration of the reactant, the order of the reaction is. So they are asking us, if the half-life of the reaction is inversely proportional to square of the concentration of the reactant, that is, you take half-life, okay, and you work it out for all the order. Since we know already for 0, first and second order, you just write those half-life formulas. But third order, we don't know, right? So for third order, if we calculate, it is 1 by K into 3 divided by 2 A naught power 2. Or they are asking half-life of the reaction. This is T half will be on the left-hand side. That is inversely proportional to square of the concentration of the reactant, right? It is correct. A power 2. It is square of the concentration of the reactant and it is inversely proportional. So your right option is 4. That is, it belongs to third order. Okay. So this is my final question. I have picked out all the questions that we have discussed, the theory, whatever the theory part we have discussed. For those, I have picked up all the questions till date from CSIR. So you can work it out, and even more problems if you need, please write it on the comment section so that I will do some more problems on these topics. Okay. Thank you for listening this video.